This podcast is proudly sponsored by Surf Prep Sanding. They're a family-owned and operated company specializing in sanders, abrasives, and dust extractors. I've been using Surf Prep for years and have come to know the amazing people behind their brand. I love their 6-inch random orbital sander and the 3x4 sander the best, and they have helped me level up my sanding to get a great finish for my projects. Use code MAKERLOUNGE, all one word, at surfprepsanding.com for 10% off your order. Now let's get to today's episode.
Want to thank new Patreon member Corey Davis with Graybeard Woodworking. If you want to be like Corey or any of the other Patreon members, head over to patreon.com/MakerLoungePodcast. Hey guys, welcome to the lounge. I'm Matt with Voltner Woodworking and your host of the Maker Lounge podcast. Like Buzz and Woody, these two have formed an alliance that inspires makers from all over the world to join their annual Maker Collab. Now that collaboration has gone beyond the boundaries of an annual competition, some might say to infinity and beyond. If you're a maker looking to grow your business or learn new skills, my guests today are going to talk about how the Maker Collab has grown to include the Maker Collab University, an educational platform helping you grow your business while doing what you love. Nick and Christy are back in the lounge.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Hey.
Or better known as Buzz and Woody.
The question is,
Who's who?
Buzz and who's Woody?
Well, let's figure that out. Christy, who would you say is Buzz?
I feel like this is a really easy one.
I bet we're not going to agree on this.
Oh, I think we are.
Okay, go ahead.
Can I guess?
Yes.
Okay, I would say Christy is Woody,
100%.
and Nick disagrees.
Yeah, of course.
Woody is the responsible one. Buzz is the one that just wants an adventure.
Yeah, but Buzz, which is you, is the one that has these crazy big ideas, and I'm the one bringing you back down to earth. Like, chill. We gotta do it one step at a time.
Ooh, that's a good point.
That's fair.
Okay, see?
So, are we counting points? Because we could start something here.
Yeah, if you want to tally, that's one for Woody over here.
You are not the sheriff.
Hey.
I mean, to infinity and beyond. That's kind of what you guys are trying to accomplish here with what you got going on. So let's start off. You had the Maker Collab. It's something we talked about in a previous episode when I had you guys on last time. Talked about the Maker Collab because you guys were getting ready to do that whole season. Yeah. So you've been doing that for a number of years.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a competition. Nick, tell us a little bit about the Maker Collab before we get to the university part.
Yeah, so it really started over 4 years ago now. This will be the 5th year coming up. It's a online competition on Instagram. Christy and I did a collab years ago before this whole thing started, and I found that it was really fun. So we just sort of dove in together and decided to have everybody else sort of experience that. So we do a little competition every year. We give you a theme. Everybody competes, and it's just a way to grow the community and bring people closer together. It's really fun.
So, Christy, how did this year's competition go?
This past year's competition was pretty spectacular, if you ask me, especially because of who was involved as the judge.
You guys leveled up for sure.
Yeah, when you get Mr. Tom Silva and Kate Silva, who's an incredible designer, as co-judges, that kind of steps it up a little bit.
Yeah. And the theme, talk a little bit about how the theme came up, how you guys agreed on that.
I think
because I know there was some deliberation.
There's always deliberation with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think inspired by a TV show was our theme this year, and I believe that was Nick's idea. Yeah.
Two for Woody.
2 for Woody. No, yep. we always toss around the idea of what to do every year, and we ask the community for input too. But I think it was fun. We've done childhood nostalgia, we've done, all kinds of different things. But this past year's was really special, especially having Tom and Kate involved too. The TV aspect of it was really cool to have them on.
Yeah. It was fun to watch them play along and do some reels and things like that. Probably drove. Yeah.
I think we got a good chance at getting them back.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That'd be good. Yeah, Tom always does some entertaining things. I wonder how much of that is inspired by Kate prodding him to do that, or if it's mostly him.
Kate is an idea girl, that is for sure.
Yeah.
But it seems like they have, I think that's a genuine good fun that they have.
They're a dynamic duo. You guys are a dynamic duo in the maker community. So started that and decided to, you weren't busy enough. So you wanted to add a little bit more to your plate. Beside the Maker Collab, you guys each run your own independent businesses. Christy, you had just moved.
Yes.
So you had a lot going on. Yeah. Give me an overview of what is the Maker Collab University?
Well, the Maker Collab University was kind of like, it was a result of a lot of conversations, which was, this competition is awesome and it takes a lot out of us and out of our schedules. And both of us have our own companies and we work with other companies as well. So we just felt like we needed to become more serious about it if we were going to continue with it. And so we decided to form a partnership, an LLC. And we just decided, like, competition is great. It's fun. It's relationship building. But what can we do for people to help them year round? That's still going to be enjoyable, but it's going to be tangible, actionable help for what they really need, which is sustaining their passion through business.
Yeah, it's good. There's so many different resources out there for people, but a lot of the times people don't know where to look for those resources. They can scour YouTube, but they're not sure. YouTube, they're not vetted, for accuracy. They could look online, but you're going to get 100 different opinions on things. And I feel like sometimes people just need that funnel. They need somebody to kind of just shepherd them along and say, here's some resources to kind of get you started. And so that's kind of what you guys have formed is essentially that funnel for people to learn on what they're doing in business.
It's definitely what we're aiming for. That's for sure. We have a lot to learn ourselves. I mean, we're just getting started here, but the reality is you can find a lot of great information on the internet and on YouTube, but you can get a community that goes along with it, that actually cares and can follow up with you. So that's, I think, what's going to set us apart. Yeah.
So you guys already have a bunch of stuff posted already, started getting members and everything on board. You've got the website. So tell us a little bit about the website, Nick.
Yeah, so it's going to be, our sort of goal is to have a platform where it's like a one-stop shop for everything that you want to do. You know, the things that we've learned throughout doing the Maker Collab is that the Maker Collab was sort of an avenue for people to just sort of jump in and get their feet wet. Most of the people participating in it had never done anything within the Maker community. This was sort of their foot in the door, if you want to say, to get into it. And so we're not only building education that we can tailor specifically to what we know people need, and that's what sets it apart from just going on and watching YouTube, is that you may know something that there's not a lot of information on. Well, now you have that community to go, one, and ask on the website, which we'll talk about in a second, but two, you can mention it and we are going to go right after it and find it and sort of tailor fit content to exactly what people are needing, which is really, really exciting. And I hope people really jump around on that because it is something that's needed in the market. The website is, like I said, it's going to be a platform. So it's going to feel like coming home to a community. So not only is there video lessons that you can learn on, there's blog write-ups that Christy spent a lot of time working on, and the blog write-ups are free. And then there is a community forum where you can go on there and you can publish anything that you want to know, anything you want to ask, any type of thread or group that you want to start. People are already on there after, just 1 week of it being open. There's people already on the forum and really using it and getting a lot of good feedback already, which is surprising. In just 7 days of its infancy, I think it's really doing a big change for people.
That's awesome. Yeah, you guys did a lot of work on the front end before the launch. Very professional. I was, had talked with you guys just about some stuff that you were getting ready to do, and we were prepping for this podcast. So yeah, you guys have pretty much, I mean, from an outsider's perspective, a somewhat outsider's perspective, have got all your T's crossed and all your I's dotted. And so kudos to you.
Thank you.
And I think that just shows also that the stuff that you guys are putting through the funnel, through the system, is also going to be professional because you have certain standards.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the thought process. Like, is it just for business? Is it like, who is it for exactly?
Reality is we're going to be continuing to learn that as we go, I think. And we tried to give it our best estimation, but since we really wanted to have a little bit of a library built up before we even launched, we kind of had to guess, right? We kind of had to put ourselves in the mindset of the person just beginning, or not even beginning skill wise, but just beginning a new part of their journey, whether it is like, okay, I want to become more serious about this and make some money, or okay, I want to be more serious about this and advance that skill, or begin documenting it better. So there's that guesswork we had to do, but as we move forward, even just being in the welcome party Zoom the other night and seeing who was present on that Zoom and hearing their feedback, it's like, we have a diverse audience, but there is a strong request for anything having to do with sustainability in business, for sure. We kind of assumed that going into it, but people really confirmed that in the meeting the other night.
Do you feel like the people who are investing in this or signing up are people who want to do this full time going forward, or is it a kind of a good mix of people that just want to maintain this as a side hustle, just want to know how to do, some practical things with their business?
Well, we're seeing it a little bit of everything. So like Christy mentioned, we did a live the other night just as like a welcome party. And so we put a polls in there. We were asking everybody, what is something that you're really wanting? And everybody, I think it was like 82% of the poll was like business side of things, So we're going to really have a little bit of everything. I talked to some people yesterday afternoon on the phone, and they were like, I need to know content creation stuff. So you're going to get a plethora of different things. And, we sort of started with what Christy and I know, which is woodworking, content creation. We don't even, know everything that we need to know about business. So we tapped into that even for our own personal knowledge, but we knew the community wanted it. So right now we've got woodworking, we've got business development, we've got content creation, we've got what we're calling maker skills, which is going to be literally everything that you can think of. And we've had a lot of people input about, hey, I want to teach courses on just some of the off-the-wall things that we didn't even think about. And so we're going to start picking up a lot of those different maker skills and trade skills and things like that to be able to provide to the community, because we don't want it just for woodworking. We don't want it in just our little niche that we've got right now, but it's constantly going to start growing, and it's going to grow pretty quickly.
I will add to that, to follow up your question. I think the people who are joining as all access TMCU members want two things. They want to get more serious about their business, and they want a community behind them while they do it.
Absolutely.
We've gotten over 50 members to join the site just in the past week.
Wow.
And a good number of them are people who have committed to the full plan. And that's very exciting to see, because people are making it clear that they want it. And we're brand new. Like we said, like, we've got to figure this out. But we also have incredible partners who decided to jump all in from the very beginning. And that, to me, says a lot about how they view our community and how they value it.
Yeah, for sure. You guys have a freight train basically that's already on the tracks and moving, right? Because you've got videos and courses that are dropping every week.
Every week, sometimes two a week. Yeah.
Yeah. So 52 weeks from now, you have 52 plus different modules for people to go out and look at.
Well, huge value add is going to be all the live networking events. We're going to do live Q&As, behind the brand talks, where people will actually get to be face-to-face with someone involved with the marketing side of these companies that we all know and love.
Yeah.
And then there might actually be some live demos from some cool people. We can talk about that maybe
Yeah.
in the after show. And also just live Q&As with our instructors. So I think people are going to find a lot of value in those nights especially, and we get to record all those and bank those as well for members to access later.
And you have I saw, I was looking through some of the different courses available, and some of the people who are behind it, and you've got like tax advice, for people. Of course, everybody has to consult their own tax, person in their own state and all that.
Right.
All those disclaimers and all that. But,
Yeah.
at least a place to start. Some people might not even know the things that they need to do for their business. And then they get ready to file taxes at the end of the year and realize, oh, I didn't set aside a certain portion of my earnings, or I didn't spend as much as I should have, or I didn't itemize equipment or whatever.
Right.
So people just don't realize what they may be missing. And I think that's the great thing about what you guys kind of have here is you have a how-to playbook for somebody. They may not be going to YouTube to hit, research, how do I do taxes? Because they may not have thought about that until it's too late.
It'll take a little bit while longer to continue to build it up. But then hopefully when someone brand new jumps in a year from now and they're like, wow, I am already set with all this stuff. So the people who jumped in right here at the beginning, those are the real ones. You guys are the real ones, trusting us to continue bringing it.
So tell me a little bit about some of the sponsors. You don't have to name them all because you probably forget because there's so many of them. But just tell me how that conversation went with some of these sponsors.
Well, we have had some really good, faithful sponsors from the start of the Maker Collab. I mean, we went straight to some of the most well-known, brands that in the community. I mean, we've got, Total Boat, we've got Bessie Clamps, we've got Clean Sport Woodworking Shop. We got big name people like that. I mean, we all use Type On. We're partnered up with Type On, and these guys stuck with us when we were just, we had no Instagram account for the Maker Collab. It was just Christy and I throwing this little competition together, and so Christy and I were actually really blown away when we finally brought them an idea. Had no proof of concept. We just tossed an idea out and like, this is what we want to do, and they were like, absolutely. They thought it was an amazing thing for the community as long as we could execute it, and I think we're doing that really well. But I mean, we've got
exactly like that.
So
like
Buzz wanted to go crazy.
No, well, yeah, the real Buzz or these conversations started with partners at the very beginning of this year, and it was many conversations over many months.
Yep.
Because we had no proof of concept other than our work ethic and what we've shown in our other endeavors. And so for these people to kind of invest in something so early honestly meant the world. They're betting on us, and they're even beyond that, they're betting on the maker community as a whole, because they're like, oh yeah, we believe this will get backed up. Like, people are going to be all over this.
So what are you most excited about? Are you most excited about the now and the building part, or are you most excited about looking down the line on what it will become?
For me, I feel like looking down the line, like let's say a year or so from now, when it's just slam full of content, there's a massive community, and it's a very welcoming community for people that are, scared to get into the community, or they're wanting to leave corporate America, sort of like, Christy and I did years ago. They may want to do that. And so having that ability to help people get out of their comfort zone and sort of start doing what they're passionate about, that's what I'm really excited about. The building of it's going to be fun, watching it grow from an infant up, to an adolescent, I guess. I don't know. I think once and you see, we've seen it with the Maker Collab competition itself. We've seen relationships, friendships, marriages grow. We've seen it all. And so knowing that is out there in the future for people, that's what I'm excited about.
I'll give a shallow answer just for fun.
Sure, I'm in for that.
I'm pretty excited for us to get our bus fixed up, because
oh gosh,
we bought a bus.
Tell me about it.
Well, Nick bought a bus.
Yeah.
See,
That's all.
Oh
I was
my-
waiting for. I was waiting for it.
was bought a bonus.
Okay, so this was the one time that I was the Buzz and she was the Woody. But then when I explained it, she was like, "Oh, it makes sense." So we were actually I was looking for a desk for the office just because I needed one. And
Yeah.
Facebook Marketplace, scrolling, and all of a sudden this little yellow scooter popped up. I was like, "Oh, that's cool." So I called Christy and I was like, "What does this look like?" FaceTimed her. Her face was not enthused at all when I showed it to her. She was like, "What? That's stupid." I was like, "Does it not look like a Buzz?" So it's a 1965 West Coaster Mailster. So it used to be an old mail truck, and it looks like a school bus. And so
That's cool.
we're gonna fix it up and use it as such.
Gonna be doing Maker Collab you on the road.
Heck yeah. So it's really interesting because we've gone from like being the content creators pitching the marketing people.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're kind of the marketing group liaison for all of our partners, and people are now pitching us. And so now we get to fill a bus full of swag and give it out at
Throwing
some.
tight bond out the window.
Who get a tight bond? Who get a tight bond?
Tight bond
No.
for everybody.
You just wait and see what kind of statement it makes. No matter what convention we go to, late that evening before everybody has the event the next day, we just roll up in a bus, start throwing swag out the window. Blasting music, dropping our little stop sign out the side. How cool is that gonna be?
It's gonna be
So-
us.
So are you guys gonna get mascot mascot costumes?
I haven't even thought of that. A university has to have a mascot.
You have to have a mascot. What's the
How
mascot?
did we not think of this?
Oh no.
Okay, it sounds like we need to
All
go
right,
to the
Matt.
Maker community and
What if
and
this
ask
is a
them.
competition?
Ooh, come up with the
See,
the
you're-
mascot.
She's thinking.
No.
This is the brain trust right here.
She's pulling a Buzz Lightyear at the moment.
Right.
You need to start a new spreadsheet.
Oh my.
So, Christy, you're the spreadsheet geek.
I'm the PDF maker and the spreadsheet maker. Although I will say, we have a friend, my best friend from college, is helping us out on the graphic design side of things and the marketing side of things. So she's much better at it than I am, but I'm definitely the person who's like, I need a spreadsheet for that. Can you go make
Right.
that work well? And she will. Yeah, she's a saint.
Imagine your wife coming home and be like, "Did you get the honey-do list done?" And she never told you where the list was. So that's how my life goes. I'm like, Christy's like, "It's been in this spreadsheet." I'm like, "You didn't tell me there was a new spreadsheet. There's like 500 spreadsheets we got now."
How many times do I have to tell you? Is the question.
For the listening audience, Christy's got a little cash register with a microphone on it. She's using supreme audio quality here. That's what we aim for.
I am a professional.
Nick, if you were to take a first stab at what mascot you would pick, what would it be?
Oh, good Lord. I have no idea. I don't know why. I for some reason, a bear pops into mind. I don't know. A
Error.
bear's like, I don't know. A bear's-
I've got one in mind, but Christy, I want to hear yours.
I can't tell it. Like, if we had to say our gut first
Yeah.
response, mine's
Yeah.
so dumb. It
Is it
doesn't
like
even make sense.
It's probably
like
like a cat
The
or
fish
something.
or something?
It's a pencil.
It's a pencil? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's even worse than I thought it was
just,
going to be.
It just, that was first reaction type of thing.
I'm thinking woodchuck.
A woodchuck.
Maybe the bus is the mascot.
The TMCU woodchucks.
Yes, you woodchuck. Woodchuck,
I definitely want to wear the mascot though. In college, I always wanted to be the wolf. Back in college, I always wanted to be the mascot. So if there's a mascot costume, dibs right here.
So I think what you
Well,
do is you have a competition where you come up with the name, you come up with the actual mascot, and then you have a competition for making the mascot costume. You have people make the mascot costume.
Oh man,
feel like
I'm not the idea person. I'm just spitballing here.
I'm not gonna sleep tonight.
Stephanie from Uncommon Outpost would 100% whip up a quick costume.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for a
Yeah,
mascot.
but it's got to have the feet, the head, like it's got to have everything.
Oh,
So
what is
there's a little bit of strategy here, Christy. I think Nick said he would wear the costume. So
Yeah.
you could come up with something totally ridiculous as the mascot.
I mean,
The MCU purge.
there's stipulations. There's not going to be any tights involved. I know that. No tights, no tutus.
Extra tights and extra tutus. That's what I heard.
Yeah. I mean, you could, like the bees or something. You could have a stinger. I mean, you could make it fun.
Oh my. This is going to have to be a work in progress here. Yeah.
Yeah.
The TMCU mascot will be revealed shortly.
Right.
Gosh, I'm nervous about that.
Yikes.
I didn't mean to put any more work on your plate. I just thought a university's got a mascot, right? So
It should be Mrs. Frizzle so that when you get off the bus.
Well, that's
Thanks.
wasn't there a lizard? Wasn't there a lizard in the Magic School Bus?
Yeah.
Like a chameleon?
What if we
There you go.
combined all the products from all of our partners and made some weird Frankenstein
like the Clamposaurus or something.
pipe on bottle body? Cleancut. We're going to need a spindle on there. We have Onefinity as a sponsor, and it'll have to be sparkly for the black diamond pigments.
I think we're off the rails on this one.
Yeah.
The
You
X
have to
rail
think
or
about.
the Y rail?
Oh my.
Ah,
CNC
wait.
jokes. Join
Yeah,
us.
exactly. There it is. There it is, folks.
I like it.
Thanks for listening. So yeah, gonna take this thing on the road and do some face-to-face stuff. We can talk. You said you wanted to mention or talk about some of that stuff maybe in the after show. We can do that in the after show.
Well, we're
Yeah.
gonna be at Klingspor Woodworking Extravaganza
Okay.
in October here, so that's coming up in Hickory, North Carolina. If anyone is around that area or wants to drive a couple hours and come hang out,
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. The bus will not be there yet. It's not going to be ready that fast.
they
But-
really want us to bring the bus, even though it's a work in progress. That
Yeah.
would be confusing,
Everybody
probably.
be just slapping stickers on it. You might not want to bring it quite yet.
Yeah, it's in pieces right now.
Oh,
So you're going to continue the competitions, even though you're doing the TMCU stuff. Going to continue doing the competitions. Are you going to ramp that up a little bit, or what's your status on some of that?
Yeah, I mean, we are. There are going to be more competitions than what we sort of have done in the past. So Christy and I are actively working on that right now. We may have a couple sponsors that may want to jump in on that and do a couple more competitions. So if you're ever thinking about doing it, I would definitely stick around because it's going to happen. And then we obviously do the big annual one every year, February, March, April, that kind of time frame. So yeah, we're gonna do it. It's gonna be great.
yeah, I would say there would be more opportunity, but we're not, like, that's not our focus. The university is the focus. The competitions are ways to just continue to kind of practice what you're learning in
Mhm.
theory, or perhaps learning a few things on the university and then going in the competition style and seeing if you can execute on what you learned. So
Nice.
yeah.
So if somebody's going through the website and they're like, oh, you don't have this, and maybe I'm a subject matter expert in that, how would they go about reaching out to you and pitching their idea?
So there's a couple ways to do it. On the community forum, there's actually a thread in there that says that if you have things that you didn't see on the site, or topics that you're wanting to hear about, there's a place on there. It's a suggestion box in a way, so people can put in their suggestions there. If somebody thinks that they have a skill that they want to teach or they want to become an instructor, there's a tab on the homepage that takes them to an application, and they just fill out simple information, sort of do a quick little pitch of what their ideas are and what they're good at, fill out some info and submit it to us, and then we'll look at it there. So there's always ways to get involved in it, which is really going to be fun.
Yeah, speaking of getting involved, Matt, why don't you share with everyone your involvement with the Maker Collab University?
I didn't know I was going to be put on the spot like that. Very good to you.
Thank you.
So I'm going to be doing some content on content, and I know, real original, right? So basically, how to do to take some video, whether that's professional camera, all the way down to using your iPhone or your smartphone, and have a visual appeal Also going to incorporate just some basics on what you should be looking for. And a lot of it has to do with, and not to give away too much of it, but essentially when you are consuming content, start taking notes of what you're consuming, because good chances are you're hooked on that content for a reason. And so turn your mindset from being just consuming stuff to start studying what you're actually consuming and turn that into your business, essentially.
That's going to be great. We're really excited to have you. We had a couple guys of the more mature population in our Zoom meeting the other night, specifically asking, like, am I going to be able to learn how to create content?
Yeah. I really wish I could have made that Zoom, but I had a conflict that night. And yeah, it's life is crazy sometimes, as you both know. But yeah, so my challenge now is, now that I've kind of written the script, I'm like, oh, this is too long. This is actually 2 videos. So I'm trying to flesh that out. So it may actually be kind of 2 different videos.
We can work through that off.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're excited. If you go to the instructor page now, you can kind of see who we have started with, but there's more coming.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
A lot more coming.
Yeah. So just for the listening audience, since you're probably driving, so you got Woodshop Mike, Brittany Carbone, you got Vic and Dom, which I feel like you can't say Vic or Dom separate. No. You just have to basically say Vic and Dom, and I'm sorry guys, that's just your lot in life. It's like Buzz and Woody or Nick and Christy.
That's right.
You got David Hopkins from Tough Guys TV, who is a Patreon member.
Awesome.
You've got Character Red, John Sexton, Mike Siegler, Steve Mosley, who's also a Patreon member, Logan Newman, who was just on this podcast, Nathan Loxton, and Christy Steinman. So those are just some of and I know you have a few more that just they're not out there yet because their stuff is coming.
Yeah.
Their stuff is coming. We got people working on videos for to try to help guide people in doing markets, which I think is going to be really helpful.
Oh, wow.
We've got someone very well known in our community who's going to do some video on epoxy and black diamond pigments and how to best use different pigments in different applications.
Nice.
What else do we have coming up?
Yeah, we've got somebody that going back to our grassroots here and doing cabinet building, which is going to be good. That'll be a 2 or 3 part series, I think. It's going to be fun.
Series and
it's hard to do a cabinet building series just in one video.
Yeah, so we definitely have project-based videos, but the business ones are going to keep getting churned out from Christy, and we're going to bring in some more folks too to speak on things like pricing strategies, how to sell on Etsy, things that people really just, again, if you love what you do, that's incredible. But in order to sustain doing that daily, unless you're independently wealthy or have a sugar mama or a sugar daddy,
right,
you got to make money. And so we will never claim to have all the answers ourselves as individuals, but we do believe we have the resources to be able to get people the answers they want.
Well, and that's a good point, because, even as I was writing the script for the video, you start to have imposter syndrome, and you're like, well, I'm not qualified. I mean, there's thousands of people, at least hundreds of people that I follow that are way more qualified, but it's not about the qualifications. It's about the community. Right. And even though, something may be out there, you're going to have the community to back it up and say, yeah, I agree with that. Or here's a twist on what they just talked about. Here's maybe another suggestion. And so starting to build that community thread.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's kind of what helped me as I was writing it. I'm starting to have imposter syndrome. I know that there's way more qualified people to teach this, but this is just my perspective on it.
Yeah, and that's why we're not framing it, although it's called a university, which sounds pretty esteemed. Hopefully people know that's just kind of playful. And
I've had some really horrible instructors, so I don't judge the instructors.
Yeah. We don't put the word expert on our website, or
right.
We don't even put professional. Not to downgrade any of us and our experiences, but yeah, the reality is we're sharing our experiences, and it's better to share and start somewhere than never start at all.
Well, when you do put professional or expert, then the tuition goes up to like $30,000 a year or something. So, or per semester.
We don't offer any grants at this time, but
Right.
stay
So let's talk about cost.
Yeah.
I don't think we mentioned that yet. So somebody wants to sign up for this. What is it? What will it cost?
Yeah, so complete full access of everything on the site. $15 a month subscription. We're calling that the TMCU member. Right now, we've got a little discount code. It's going to last for another week or so. It's TMCU freshman. That'll give you 50% off your first 3 months. That's going to give you access to literally every single thing. And then there is a free membership that you will get access to the forum. You'll get access to the blogs. You just won't have access to the live Q&As, the networking nights, which we haven't talked about that yet either. Or you don't have the video lessons involved. But you still have the sense of community with the forum, the community chat. You get to follow and, share with others on there.
Well, the reality is, as a free member, you do have access to the live Q&As, but it's not included. Obviously, you're a free member, but you can pay $10 for a ticket to go to a live Q&A, and that's so we can compensate our instructors.
Yep.
And obviously, we're running a business here, so we got a lot of expenses. But yeah, and then our Nick mentioned our networking nights, which are going to be another great opportunity. We're going to try to schedule those about every 4 to 6 weeks, as often as we can, without making the schedule overwhelming. And those aren't, no one's speaking at those. We're not bringing in brands for those. We're networking. And we upgraded our Zoom so that we can have breakout rooms so that you can kind of chat in small groups. I think that's going to be extremely helpful if we can label each breakout room for different topics like CNC or laser or woodworking or business, and people can kind of go where they want to focus their attention on conversation. And those will be included for TMC members, and those will be $5 for free members. We didn't want to charge the full 10 on those, but because we really want people to take advantage of it. But the reality is, if you just get the all access TMC membership, you're set. I mean, you're getting so many opportunities throughout the month, and you'd be missing out otherwise.
You're going to make everybody want to get extra cell phones so they can be in all of the different forums at once. How do I pick between, content creation or lasers or whatever?
You can jump around. You can move.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. On Zoom, you mean?
Yeah.
In the breakout room?
You can jump around. Okay.
You can go to whatever breakout room you want. We were just testing it the other day for the first time. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
It is really cool. And we've got some really cool ideas about how to sort of incorporate other things with those breakout rooms. So that might be fun. But yeah, it's just going to be open for like 3 hours of Zoom. And you can just jump in, see the room that you want to go to. Yeah. You can do whatever you want to do.
I think that'll be fun. And so you mentioned that you had some people asking about content creation. What are some of the other things that you feel that people are thirsty for in the community?
I think people really are thirsty for guidance with business. I know we've touched on this already, but
yeah.
I think things that not everyone talks about is money and pricing. I mean, people definitely need the help in terms of the back end of the business stuff, accounting, bookkeeping, tax prep, the no fun stuff, but if you want to get serious, you got to do it stuff. But that is just the resounding thing that we keep hearing is generation leads. How do I get clients though? How do I sell it? What's a good way to make a portfolio? What tools, what do I need to invest in now and why? What can wait? So
are there different levels? Like if you complete 6 modules, you're now a sophomore and then, you graduate up to a senior or...
I've honestly thought about it, but there are badges that Nick kind of is a fan of, but we haven't decided what to do with those yet.
Yep.
Because then the seniors just bully the freshmen.
There's no bullying at TMCU.
Oh, good.
right.
I'm glad. I was the kid in the trash can, so I'm glad to hear that.
No swirlies here.
So, so the future of the university is hopefully at some point you'll start hiring people, or what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I feel like that's a ways away. 100%. You can find people, especially if we could source people from within the community that we're familiar with, that we would have the same passion for it. We would love to be owners someday, and still just be able to contribute where we are passionate about, rather than doing all the nitty gritty, hard stuff that we've been doing for 10 plus months now, with no guarantee of it working out.
Right.
Yeah, I think the future of TMCU is bright. I think our heart is in the right place. We have a lot of good people supporting it already. And I think the fact that we both have a lot of ideas we want to see come to fruition, this isn't it. This is only the first stop.
That's great. Well, okay. What haven't I asked you? I know that there's got to be something, or if there's something you want to save for the after show. I think we've covered a lot of what you guys have out there. Make sure that you go out and check out their website, which is themakercollab.com. And then you can go in there and look at the different stuff that's out there. Actually, I made you guys promise me something for the Patreon members.
Yeah.
So we'll give that in the after show. So basically, we're going to give a benefit to the Patreon members.
Yeah.
So if you want to hear what that is, make sure that you join us on Patreon, patreon.com/MakerLoungePodcast. Nick, Christy, thank you for being here. Would like to give a shout out and say thank you to Surf Prep for sponsoring this episode. And I'd like to mention our top tier patrons. Of course, one last shout out to new Patreon member Corey Davis with Graybeard Woodworking. And thank you to our top tier patrons. We got Jimmy McAnally, Wimm Design, Calvary Customs LLC, Cleancut Woodworking, Bailey Thompson, Dave Garcia, Broken Lid Woodworks, Starks Lagoon, Dylan Furniture, Shock the Fox, Don Patterson, and Corey Davoll. Nick, Christy, I'll leave your information in the show notes for each of your individual pages. Stated Woods Co. and Oak Hill Millworks.
Yes, sir.
And along with the Maker Collab Instagram and all the good stuff. Thanks for being here.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
In infinity and beyond.
We figured out who Buzz is.
I told you.
I'm out.
Nice.